sometimes those things.
Well, I just thought you might want to take a look.
So I think that the question here that we're facing at this particular moment in history is the sustainability of our whole culture, which means not just food, but shelter, energy, and other kinds of basic human needs. How do we meet those needs without compromising the future? And I guess my question is, how do we meet those basic needs of food, energy, and shelter while actually enhancing the quality of our local environment, while actually enhancing the vitality of our communities, while actually enhancing the vibrancy of our local economies? I mean, I think that's the fundamental question of sustainability. So I think local food is one piece of that. I think when you start looking at alternative building, we're in a straw bale structure. The straw bale structure here, that we're in, is also part of the local food economy, because the straw was purchased from a local farm that's about 3 miles down the road. A lot of the earth plaster was either for the clay right here or clay not too far off the site. The sand is local. The wood was harvested sustainably from a forest here and built right on site. So most of the components of the straw bale building come from about a 4 to 5 mile radius of this site. And I think that's also part of a local farm economy, because all the materials that you see here are coming off of the land right here in Northeast Ohio.
And the latest tally that I've taken along with some of my colleagues over at the College of Urban Affairs indicates that there are about 17,000 vacant lots in Cleveland. So the question then becomes what to do with the vacant land. And it seems to me that urban agriculture might be one very desirable, innovative way of developing all this vacant land. Not only would it be aesthetically more pleasing and neighborhood improving in that respect, but it would also be a means of generating food, fresh food, to the people who live in the neighborhoods at very modest prices. And in some of the neighborhoods, there is very little access to fresh food, since many supermarkets have closed down in these neighborhoods. For another possibility, this may be a way to engage the youth of the community or young adults of the community in exploring the possibilities of urban agriculture, possibly getting paid as part of it, as well as enjoying the produce that gets developed. So as far as I'm concerned, an urban agricultural program similar to the one that we have here is very much of a win-win kind of a situation.
We'd like to see this expand. We want to see more of these throughout the city. We are actually thrilled that so many of the gardeners who are here right now were part of the reason why, the main reason, the only reason why the city of Cleveland actually changed its zoning code to allow for urban gardens. It's the only city in the country that currently has a zoning classification for gardens. We think it's that important.
City Fresh has been a great initiative in terms of it has brought it has connected local farmers to low-income neighborhoods and given a taste of fresh produce and made it affordable for inner city neighborhoods. So I think that's a program that certainly helps. There are gardening programs that improve access to produce. If you're growing your own, you certainly have access to it. We also have a urban market gardener training program, and which is promoting creating urban farms or small-scale farms where fresh produce can be grown, which can be sold into to local neighborhoods, to low-income neighborhoods. So I think we have to work, if we want people to produce more, to consume more fruits and vegetables, we have to increase access to fresh fruits and vegetables in the neighborhoods where we want people to consume more fruits and vegetables.
City Fresh, tied into some of the great urban and rural markets across the many counties of Northeast Ohio. This location, Blue Pike Farm, had its open house today.
The shrinking city phenomenon is pretty much been identified in a very comprehensive study by the Brookings Institution. About 65 cities that they identified, mostly in the Midwest and the Northeast, that are falling further behind. It seems to me that the same phenomenon that we now begin to call or refer to as shrinking cities is taking place in all of those former industrial, older Midwest and Northeast cities. And that is shrinking population, shrinking investment, loss of jobs, growing percentages of poverty in the resident population, old infrastructure that is extraordinarily expensive and difficult to replace. All of them are suffering from the same kinds of problems. And in the face of those problems, these cities are simply going to have to respond. They're all in the same grip of forces that really transcend the city itself. And so it's my judgment that the people who will be able to deal with these problems best will be those who face the future with some reality and try to do the best they can in a creative way dealing with their problems.
We're going to be building up the soil on the site and raised compost beds.
And then what?
Growing food for Wonder City Farm.
Food is an economic vector. There's billions of dollars in whole communities that go untapped within our region, the Great Lakes region.